On instantaneous velocity. It's actually a past question from JAMB examination. The displacement of a lorry is given as x equals to t raised to power 3 minus 2t raised to power 2 minus 4t plus 7, such that x is in meters and t in seconds. At what time will the lorry be momentarily at rest? So our solution there. So we have to calculate the time it will take that lorry to be at rest. So being at rest means the time it will take the lorry to stop. And you know that from the tips I gave about how to apply the formulas of uniform motion, you know that when a body comes to rest, that means its final velocity equals to what? Zero. So that means when a body comes to rest, its final velocity is what? Zero. While when a body starts from rest, its initial velocity is zero. But here we are talking about instantaneous velocity. And here they said that such that x is in meters. So if x is in meters, what this means that this equation here represents what? Displacement. X means displacement. Since the unit of x is in meter, that means x represents what? Displacement. And t here in seconds, that means t represents what? Time. T represents what? Time. And definition of velocity equals to what? Displacement over time. Displacement s over time. However, with respect to this question, our displacement is, we use capital letter X. We use capital letter X to represent it. So now, since this is given since it is given in displacement, our velocity will be what? The derivative of displacement. That means we do dx dt to give us, that's to change this equation to the equation that will represent velocity. So that means our velocity will now be what? We differentiate this displacement with respect to time. And when we differentiate that, we equate it to zero, because when this thing will come to rest is when this velocity, this final velocity equals to zero. So now we have that our displacement x equals to t raised to power 3 minus 2t raised to power 2 minus 4t plus 7 plus 7. So for us to now do dx dt, as we differentiate this, differentiating this will be this power here times the coefficient of t. Coefficient of t is 1. So that will be 3 times 1 times what? T raised to power 3 minus 1. And we have done extensively on derivative. So there's a link on the description that will take you to the video that really treats on derivative. So we don't waste our time here. So we move on. If you differentiate this second term, that will be minus 4t. Differentiate this third term, that will be minus 4. Differentiate the last one, which is a constant, that will be 0. Then you equate it to 0. So here will be 3t raised to the power of 2 minus 4t minus 4 equals to 0. So what do we have here? What we have here is quadratic equation. And remember, we are trying to solve for t, because what they say, we should find the time it will take the lorry to come to rest. So calculating that, we are going to solve this quadratic equation. So first, solving this quadratic equation, we now do 3 times minus 4. 3 times minus 4 to give us what? Minus 12. And then we look for 2 factors of 12 that when we multiply them into 2 factors of minus 12, that when we multiply, they give us minus 12. When we add them, it gives us minus 4. So I'll look at 6 times 2. 6 times 2 will give us 12. Minus 6 times 2 will give us what? Minus 12. And when you do minus 6 plus 2, it will give us what? Minus 4. So our factor is minus 6 and plus 2. So we substitute it there. So we substitute it there. So this is now 3t squared. In place of minus 4t, we'll put minus 6t plus 2t. Minus 6t plus 2t will give you minus 4t. Understand? So in that place, we now put those two factors. Then minus 4 here equals to 0. So we factor out. We factor out what is similar. So between 3t squared and 6t, what is the common factor there? 3 is common between them and t is common. So 3t will be outside. What will be left will be t. And this side, what will be left will be minus 2. Because if you multiply this through again, it will return you to what you have here. Then between 2t and minus 4, what is common? What is common is 2. That's positive 2 into what? T minus 2 equals to 0. So now this will now be 3t plus 2 and what? T minus 2 equals to 0. Equals to 0. So when we solve that, from the first one, 3t plus 2 equals to 0, comma, meaning that 3t equals to minus 2, comma, so that t will be equals to minus 2 over 3 seconds. Then from the second factor here, that we have that t minus 2 equals to 0, will mean that therefore that t equals to what? Positive 2 seconds. So now we have two values for t. Which one do we choose? We are going to choose plus 2 seconds. The reason we are choosing plus 2 seconds is because we don't have negative time. The negative time does not exist. So what we have is a positive time. So the lorry will come to rest in the time 2 seconds. So therefore your answer will be t equals to what? 2 seconds. If you have questions or contributions, you can do it on the comments or you join our WhatsApp group on the link below in the description, on the link in the description. Thank you.